Issue 74, Stormbringer magazine, the other Guardian Idol. We'll do the second face with this one. Hello and welcome to The Lucky Roll, an eclectic channel for eclectic games, and today we're doing issue 74 of our continuing series of Hachette Collections Warhammer Stormbringer magazine. Now in this issue you get another Guardian Idol, and it is the second of the two Guardian Idols. Now the Guardian Idol itself has an alternative build, so I brought the old one here to show just the main difference. It's mainly just the head, but just to give you an idea of what it looks like in case you want to build your own one. There's some interesting lore in this as well. I'm just going to zoom in on it. So it goes on about the Iron Jaws, which was the 10 Ard Boys we got in the last issue, and I have to say it was a very good issue because great value and 10 really cool little minis. So basically the orcs would be worship two deities, Gork and Mork. One is brutal and cunning and the other is cunning but brutal. These guys, the Ard Boys, would be more brutal, but they're still cunning. The rudimentary aspects of war for them is just hit it until it stops moving. And they happen to be very, very, very good at it. Now, just because they're very good at clobbering you and have the muscle to back it up, doesn't mean that they're absolutely devoid of tactics. So they're quite good at using other Orruk clans to be the bait, whilst be the anvil, should I say, whilst they're the hammer. So they have been underestimated, but nevertheless, they have a very inherent talent for violence as well, in that it comes as naturally to them as walking would come to some of us. So you have here some of the gear that the lads would have. You have the Gora Haka, which is a blade that has a dull edge. You have the Ard Boys armor, which they just punch into shape. And you have the Brute Smasher, which is just a huge spike club that weighs as much as many enemies. And basically they just smash the fellas. And you have three of the war clans here. You have the Iron Sons, the Bloodtooths, and the Choppas. Here you have the Terrors. Now I like this little bit of lore because again it's written in from the perspective of a scribe or a scholar. So this one was written by Hermann Splott. So it gives the idea that you're looking into an actual book from the college being taught to new soldiers or citizens of Sigmar, and just what the effect of the mushrooms are on them. You have here the Chaos supplement. So it's the Chaos gods themselves: Khorne, Tzeentch. You have Nurgle, the god of pestilence, Slaanesh, the god of passion and obsession, and finally the Great Horned Rat, which is basically the god of the Skaven, and are currently making a huge comeback now in the 4th edition of Age of Sigmar with the new Skaventide box set. A very interesting little box set. If you want to check our unboxing, you can check it either here or up there, wherever James decides to put it. You also have the How to Build guide. Now this is the same as the previous How to Build guide. You have the How to Paint, which again actually goes into a little bit more detail because again you have some more of the paints since the previous issue, and you have some order tactics. So it gives you some of the tactics that you can use for some of your old models, including Gardas Steel Soul, which I think was in the first 10 issues of Stormbringer magazine, Bastion Carthullus, who was only 3 or 4 issues ago, the Iron Skull Boys, which I believe was about 8 or 9 issues ago, and the Orruk Ard Boys, which was literally, I believe, the last issue. So you also have the Last Stand, the Lines of Power. So again, the interesting about the Lines of Power is that the terrain gives a little bit of a boost to some of the models. So for example, Sigmar models would work a little bit better within range of these things as than some of the Chaos ones, but nevertheless I'm sure the power can be shared in some aspects. But the main difference between the two, of course, is the head. So the first one I painted was the one here with the skull head, and I opted for the second option with the second issue with the kind of helmeted face-like head. Now in terms of personal preference, I think I prefer the skull head, but nevertheless they're really cool little minis, and what they would do is they border the cities of Sigmar. So I mean, you could even have it set up as the center of a battlefield, or you could even have one facing each other with a skull denoting Chaos side, or the face as Order side, or whatever way you want to do it. But again, they're really cool little things. some of my more favorite terrain pieces, but again, easy to put together, lots of beautiful details. So I mean, here on the base as well, you can see that they have etchings of a broken border wall per se. You have even detritus like smashed jars, things like that. I just put a wraithbone spray on the actual model itself, and again, most of it is Retributor gold for most of the gold armor. So it's a very simple paint, because if you just use the spray can to cover the majority of the statue model, the rest of it is just putting down correct shades of gold and a little bit of glaze on the jewels and the chest plate. So I use Gilliman blue for that. But again, really nice models. They look lovely on the table, and you know, just give a nice kind of little hint of the back of Beyond, and the two of them put together again just makes for a nice tabletop. So it's, even though it's not a unit that can go off and kind of kill things left, right and center, they just look class, you know. I mean, they make your tabletop and your battles look all the better, and you get the second one of them in issue 74. So as always, if you like these videos, please like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, and until next time, this is Sean from The Lucky Roll signing off.